when we eventually keep taking the small baby steps now, then we will reach. और जिस दिन हम वहां पहुंचेंगे, हम पीछे मुड़ के देखेंगे तो अरे इतना भी मुश्किल नहीं था.
Absolutely. The first thing is not to get overwhelmed with that big thing कि मुझे काम करना चाहिए. No, explore. In the initial few years, my profession was extremely slow. Extremely. I was not even a turtle, I was a snail. Okay, so that is how my profession was in the initial few years, and I was okay with it. So 2014, I was actually headed for a divorce. And divorce from a person who I had fought to get married to. I'm a Hindu Punjabi, he is a Mallu Catholic. And I had fought with my parents, he had fought with his parents for us to get married. It took us 4 years to finally get both sides of parents to, accept our union. So, हमने बहुत पापड़ बेले थे. And then 5 saal mein disintegrated to such an extent where I was ready to walk out. Let's start applying it, because knowing is not doing, right? Only doing is doing.
Those 8 p.m. learning hours on Clubhouse, audio ke through bhi, there was so much of learning at 8 p.m. and now we have the podcast and the YouTube channel wherein 8 p.m. is like learning hour, जहाँ पे लोग दूसरा सब कुछ देख रहे होते हैं. We are like stick. मैं तो बस वेट कर रही होती थी 8 p.m. हो जाए, सब कुछ काम खत्म करके साइड में रखना है. 8 p.m. में मुझे यहाँ बैठना है, मुझे सुनना है और मुझे पूछना है. That opportunity was also like two-way communication was there. So we can ask whatever questions we had. We were given this opportunity. So I feel blessed कि हमें इतनी अच्छी opportunity Success Gyan ने दी.
Clubhouse was fun, man. Till the time it lasted, what a blast we all had. But that was my first moment when I realized, oh shit, maybe I'm the problem.
So what made that shift? ऐसा क्या हुआ कि आपको लगा कि नहीं, no more, I will be this cribbing, crying person. I'm like really grateful that Success Gyan is doing such thing. Like हमें घर से भी अभी अपॉर्चुनिटी मिल गई है कि we can learn from you guys. Even if you ask me, like I am exposed to Success Gyan for past 2 years, so I know the amount of shift it has brought in my life. And यहाँ जो मैं यहाँ बैठी हूँ आपके सामने, that is also because of Success Gyan.
As usual, we blame the others. So I blamed everyone. I blame my boss, I blame my peers, I blame the organization. कि ओपरा में ऐसा होता है, ओपरा में वैसा होता है. Never really realized that, hey, you know what, Chinha, buddy, you could be the problem. For me, personal impact starts way before you meet someone.
Just don't stay where you are. कहीं ना कहीं हमें लगता है कि that brings our self esteem down, our confidence down, कि फिर उसको ना वापस से लाने में उससे double energy लगती है, right?
100%. And if we were supposed to be in one place, we would have been made like a tree. But we are humans, we can move.
Right, right. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we have another fabulous guest. She is India's leading personal impact coach. She is author of the book, The Fine Art of Fine Dining. She is also an image consultant and an etiquette expert. So, would you like to make a guess who is she? Let me tell you, she is Chinha Raheja, leading Success Gyan Trainer, and I'm like blessed to have her on my channel. So let's welcome Chinha. Hi Chinha, welcome to my channel. I'm really excited, happy to have you here, and I'm really privileged कि आपने मेरे इंटरव्यू की रिक्वेस्ट को एक्सेप्ट किया and you're here to inspire so many out there.
Thank you for this such a beautiful, warm welcome, Anita. And a big hi to all your viewers. It's an honor and a privilege to be here. Thank you for having me here.
Thank you so much. So guys, let's learn from her about her journey, how she has faced everything in her life and how she has like reached this level, ताकि हमें भी कुछ tips मिल जाए to move forward in our life. So Chinha, we would like to know कि how how is your journey till date? मतलब एक थोड़ा सा brief दोगे हमें कि how it has been, the ups and downs कैसे था, and how you reached till here.
Okay, so how far back should I start? कहाँ से शुरू करूँ?
स्टार्टिंग से स्टार्ट करो. एक मिनट, उसके पहले मैं बोला चाहिए गाइस, शी इज अ फौजी वाइफ एंड अ फौजी किड. शी हैज ट्रैवल्ड फ्रॉम कश्मीर टू कन्याकुमारी 22 states across India. So she has a wide exposure to our culture and उस एक्सपीरियंस का वो यूज करके हमें इतना कुछ सिखा सकती है. लाइक आई बिलीव कि बुक से जो हमें सीखने मिलता है उससे कहीं कहीं गुना ज्यादा हम जितने डिफरेंट प्लेसेस पे रहते हैं ना उतना हमें ज्यादा सीखने मिलता है. सो या, यू स्टार्ट फ्रॉम द बिगनिंग. वी वुड लाइक टू नो फ्रॉम द बिगनिंग ओनली.
Well, okay. So, staying up late and then waking up late became a norm for quite a few years of my life. So, it was actually a pain to relearn how to be disciplined, especially with waking up in the morning.
ओके, सो लाइक आपने भी वो एक्सपीरियंस किया है पेन जो हम लोग लाइक नॉट अब एक्सपीरियंस कर रहे हैं.
Of course.
ओके, सो आप भी हमारी तरह ही हो एक तरह से.
बिल्कुल आपके जैसे ही हूँ. कुछ अलग नहीं है. सेम नॉर्मल एवरेज पर्सन.
एवरेज तो नहीं कह सकते. यू मस्ट हैव लाइक, जैसे आपने बोला कि आपको रीलर्न करना पड़ा डिसिप्लिन, क्योंकि जिस लेवल पे आप हो वो बिना डिसिप्लिन के तो नहीं पहुंच सकते, राइट?
So I was born in a family of an Indian Army doctor. My mom was a housewife. We've lived across the country. As you said, Kashmir se Kanyakumari tak, Maharashtra se Manipur tak. So we've stayed everywhere. My life has been very nomadic. I've been a nomad my entire life. So I think it has given me a sense of adaptability because when you know कि एक साल में आपने निकल के जाना है, then you kind of get used to any adversities, any challenges, any obstacles that come your way, and you learn how to roll with it. So that's one thing that a Fauji upbringing has absolutely taught me. I started my corporate career after my MBA in sales and marketing in Mumbai. And I started in a hotel industry. I started working with the Oberoi hotels. Worked there for a few years, moved on to American Express, and then moved on to, I got married and then moved on to another part of the country from Mumbai. I got married to an Indian naval aviator. So I've been staying in coastal India for the past 14 years now of my marriage. After marriage, I had a small break. 5 years, I was an at-home housewife, an at-home mom. Picked up my second innings of my career once I studied image management. And once I got into the Success Gyan ecosystem, learned a lot from so many members of Success Gyan, so many mentors. And and since then, it has been my mission to give back whatever I learned to help people achieve the career growth that I got because of certain systems that I followed, certain experiences, certain things that I learned, certain things that I applied. They got me results. So I said, others can make use of this as well. So that's my journey in a nutshell. I'm on a mission to help people be seen, be heard, and be known.
Thank you for sharing your amazing journey. So being a Fauji kid, मतलब what I think, मतलब मेरे इमेज में जो पिक्चर आता है that is like very disciplined. सुबह 5 बजे उठना, फिर बाद में ब्रेकफास्ट, फिर जो भी है like it will be systematic. ऐसा ही था आपके साथ?
100%.
Oh wow. So you are like आपको वो प्रॉब्लम नहीं आया होगा कि जो हमें आता है यूजुअली कि अरे यार पहले तो ना उसको हैबिट बनाओ कि इतने बजे उठना है, इतने बजे ये करना है, इतने बजे ये करना है. दैट इज लाइक नेचुरली इनकलकेटेड फ्रॉम चाइल्डहुड, राइट?
It was, but you see what happens once you start going to college, then you start living an adult life. तो आपको ऐसा लगता है कि जो मैंने childhood में सीखा था तो सब बकवास था. And so when I went to Bombay, and for the first time in my life, I actually went into a big city because before that, my father was posted into all these smaller areas of our country. छोटे छोटे गांव में जहाँ पे army posts होती थी. That's where we had lived. We had lived in two-tier cities. Never lived in a big city. अब बॉम्बे तो मतलब if you go there the first time चकाचौंध हो जाओगे आप कि क्या है वो. And I was 15 years old when I first came to Bombay. And I was mesmerized when I went to college in Bombay, the kind of college culture which was there. For me, that made me forget a lot of the things that I had learned in childhood. First to go was discipline. Because Bombay is nightlife. बॉम्बे में तो चमक धमक ही 9 बजे के बाद स्टार्ट होती थी. So for me, staying up late and then waking up late became a norm for quite a few years of my life. So it was actually a pain to relearn how to be disciplined, especially with waking up in the morning.
ओके सो लाइक आपने भी वो एक्सपीरियंस किया है पेन जो हम लोग लाइक अब एक्सपीरियंस कर रहे हैं.
Of course.
ओके सो आप भी हमारी तरह ही हो एक तरह से.
बिल्कुल आपके जैसे ही हूँ. कुछ अलग नहीं है. सेम नॉर्मल एवरेज पर्सन.
एवरेज तो नहीं कह सकते. यू मस्ट हैव लाइक जैसे आपने बोला कि आपको रीलर्न करना पड़ा डिसिप्लिन, क्योंकि जिस लेवल पे आप हो वो बिना डिसिप्लिन के तो नहीं पहुंच सकते, राइट?
आई अग्री. पर क्या होता है ना, एक मैंने स्टोरी सुनी थी. सुनाओ.
यस प्लीज.
Story goes like this, that there's a young girl walking down the road, and she sees one old auntie sitting outside her house, really old, in a rocking chair. वो rock कर रही हैं, and she's knitting her sweater. उनके साइड में उनका dog बैठा हुआ है. And after every few seconds, the dog is howling. लेकिन आंटी जो है आराम से अपनी स्वेटर बना रही हैं. So the young girl is like, very curious. So she goes up to the old auntie and she says, Auntie, what's wrong with your dog? So the auntie says that, अरे कुछ नहीं बेटा, उसको दर्द हो रहा है. So she's like, why? What's going on? So she says, you see, where he's sitting, that's his most favorite spot in the world. Every morning we sit here, and I sit on the rocking chair, and he sits right next to me, and we have a pleasurable morning every morning. पर कुछ दिनों से जहां पे वो बैठा है ना, द फ्लोर बोर्ड्स ऑफ दैट प्लेस दे आर मेड ऑफ वुड. तो उसमें से एक नेल बाहर आई हुई है, और उसके फेवरेट स्पॉट पे ही निकली हुई है वो नेल. और वो जब भी वहां बैठता है ना, द नेल pricks him in the bum. And so he doesn't like it. So he howls. So the young girl asks the auntie, then why doesn't he move? So the old auntie says, because it doesn't hurt him enough.
जब तक हमें वो पिंच नहीं होता कि भाई अब ये पेन नहीं बेयर कर सकते, तब तक हम लोग कुछ एक्शन भी नहीं लेते हैं.
यही मेरे साथ भी हुआ था. तो जब तक लाइफ इतनी बुरी नहीं हो गई that the pain of living that life was actually unbearable, that's when I said, okay, this can't go on. Right? अब इससे बुरा तो मेरे साथ कुछ हो ही नहीं सकता. वेट ही क्यों करनी है? संभल जाओ अभी से. Right?
मतलब I guess we go into that downfall to rise up high, right? भगवान जी वो हमें एक जोर का थप्पड़ लगाते हैं कि बस अब सुधर जाओ, वरना इससे बुरा और कुछ हो सकता है.
Absolutely. जैसे लेडीज को बैक पेन होता है ना, जब हमें बैक पेन होता है काम करके, ये करके, वो करके, तो हम उसको इग्नोर करते हैं कि अरे मैं मूव लगा लूंगी, ठीक हो जाएगा. मैं थोड़ी सी आज स्ट्रेचिंग ज्यादा कर लूंगी, ठीक हो जाएगा. पर जब तक बैक पेन के साथ हॉट वाटर बॉटल के साथ हम बेड पे लेट नहीं हो जाते, तब तक वी विल कीप इग्नोरिंग इट. Only when we are bedridden, we're like, अच्छा ठीक है, wait कर लेते हैं, थोड़ा exercise कर लेते हैं, physiotherapy कर लेते हैं, something, right? Supplements ले लेते हैं. It's the same with our lives as well, I feel. Till the pain is not so much that it's almost crippling you, till that time we don't take action.
Exactly, exactly. So, was it your break time that you are speaking about? जो 5 years का break था आपका?
Yeah, that was those 5 years really made me lose myself. And it didn't start in those 5 years. The rot started earlier in my corporate career because when I was at the Oberoi, I thought that I would perform really well. My interviews had gone so well. People who had taken me up as a part of the team had really high hopes from me, and they communicated that with me that you're the youngest assistant sales manager. So, I thought that my youth, my energy would actually work for me. But I made a lot of mistakes in my corporate career, which I did not realize were my mistakes. As usual, we blame the others. So I blamed everyone. I blame my boss, I blame my peers, I blame the organization. कि ओपरा में ऐसा होता है, ओपरा में वैसा होता है. Never really realized that, hey, you know what, Chinha, buddy, you could be the problem. And went to American Express in the corporate office in a very prestigious position. Left in 6 months because, hey, I was the problem. And when I left, then after that, I decided, my personal life was picking up. So I thought I'll get married. And so I did. And after that, because never acknowledged that there was something wrong with me. And so that ball of resentment was always inside, creating low self-esteem, making me feel like I'm not good enough. What did I do? Why am I like this? Why is my life like this? You see all these spoken and unspoken thoughts inside of us, they create a mess inside, right? So after I got married, I had a lot of issues with my relationships, with my husband. And even though I was a new mom, my daughter was 2, 3 years old when I realized that my married life is not working out. I need to leave. So 2014, I was actually headed for a divorce. And divorce from a person who I had fought to get married to. I'm a Hindu Punjabi, he is a Mallu Catholic. And I had fought with my parents, he had fought with his parents for us to get married. It took us 4 years to finally get both sides of parents to, accept our union. So हमने बहुत पापड़ बेले थे. And then 5 साल में disintegrated to such an extent where I was ready to walk out. So that was a really, really dark period of my life. I'd left my 3-year-old daughter behind. I'd run away from home for 6 months. And it was on the pretext that I am going to Bangalore to study image management at ICBI, but I know that I was running away. I didn't want to deal with my problems. I didn't want to deal with my husband. I didn't want to deal with the issues. I was, it had become a habit to blame everyone else about the problems in my life. So my husband is wrong, my in-laws are wrong, my parents are wrong, everyone is wrong. I'm the only one who's right. I was sitting in my class in ICBI, and I had a mentor, an instructor there, and he was a huge Robert Kiyosaki fan. And that day, he came very excited into class, and all of us students were sitting there, and he was very excited, and he's like, "Do you know, guys? In November, Robert Kiyosaki is coming to India in a live event." So my father was a Robert Kiyosaki fan as well. I had seen Rich Dad Poor Dad books in my father's library throughout my life. So I was like, so my ears perked up. I said, "Arey wah, I also want to go." And he did say that he's got some tickets and things like that. So I said, "Sir, I'd love to come with you." And so that's how I went for NAC, National Achievers Conference, where Success Gyan for the first time had got all these amazing authors and speakers onto one stage. So I went into that ecosystem and thinking that I'm going to learn about finance management from Robert Kiyosaki, but I got sucked into personal development and the journey has never stopped. But that was my first moment when I realized, oh shit, maybe I'm the problem.
So that was like, I believe कि सक्सेस ज्ञान के रूप में ना बहुत सारे ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन हुए हैं,
Oh,
right? Where we get कि लाइफ का पर्पस मिल जाता है.
100%. 100%. I learned not only how to be better at my profession, but I learned how to be better in my communication, in my relationships, how to take ownership for my life, how to become more accountable for the mess that I've created, how to find solutions for the mess that I've created, how to be a bigger, better person, and so on and so forth. You know what I'm talking about, right? So many bulb on moments, so many breakthroughs every single time a trainer would open their mouth and I would be like, oh my God, this is my life. Oh my God, this is my life.
I can totally relate. You attended the offline ones, हमने online वाले किए हैं. So even if you ask me, like I am exposed to Success Gyan for past 2 years, so I know the amount of shift it has brought in my life. And यहाँ जो मैं यहाँ बैठी हूँ आपके सामने, that is also because of Success Gyan. Somewhere you all guys, means all you mentors have inspired so much. किसी का कोई पॉइंट, किसी का कोई पॉइंट, मतलब हर एक का ऐसे सारे बलबॉन मूवमेंट्स पूरे टाइम पे कहीं ना कहीं अप्लाई करके ही लाइक आई एम आल्सो लाइक प्रोग्रेसिंग. बट आई एम लाइक रियली ग्रेटफुल दैट सक्सेस ज्ञान इज डूइंग सच थिंग. लाइक हमें घर से भी अभी अपॉर्चुनिटी मिल गई है कि वी कैन लर्न फ्रॉम यू गाइज. प्रीवियसली लाइक बिफोर पैंडेमिक दिस वाज ओनली समथिंग कि अगर हमें कहीं जाना है तो वापस से सब कुछ बैलेंस करके, सब कुछ मैनेज करके ऑफलाइन के इवेंट्स अटेंड करने होंगे. सो नाउ दिस इज लाइक क्या बोलते हैं, मिक्सचर हो गया है, तो वी कैन लाइक ऑप्ट फॉर बोथ द थिंग्स. दैट हैज लाइक रियली अ ब्लेसिंग.
Absolutely. I think that was the vision with which Suren, I'm sure, created this entire thing. Ki, so what if the pandemic is there and the shutdown has happened? Why should learning stop?
Right, right. And even those 8 p.m. learning hours on Clubhouse, audio ke through bhi, there was so much of learning at 8 p.m. And now we have the podcast and the YouTube channel wherein 8 p.m. is like learning hour, जहाँ पे लोग दूसरा सब कुछ देख रहे होते हैं. We are like stick. मैं तो बस वेट कर रही होती थी 8 p.m. हो जाए, सब कुछ काम खत्म करके साइड में रखना है. 8 p.m. में मुझे यहाँ बैठना है, मुझे सुनना है और मुझे पूछना है. That opportunity was also like two-way communication was there. So we can ask whatever questions we had. We were given this opportunity. So I feel blessed कि हमें इतनी अच्छी opportunity सक्सेस ज्ञान ने दी.
Clubhouse was fun, man. Till the time it lasted, what a blast we all had. So many times I used to sit as an audience and listen to Thaddeus speak. He's one of my mentors as well. So listen to Thaddeus speak, listen to Dr. Meghna speak. She's my soul sister. So Megs and I have been friends while we were in the learning journey of Success Gyan. So, and she's like a wise woman. So I would sit in the audience and just absorb all of these pieces of wisdom from all the trainers. Clubhouse was fun. I wish it had lasted.
Even I wish. I have messaged Suresh so many times, please start करो वापस, भले वीक में एक दिन तो एक दिन.
But the app did not have a lot of success. So that's the reason why. Sure.
Okay, whatever. I believe कि whatever is like meant will come to us. तो वो period, golden period था. That time I was like, at that time, Pooja Puneet used to say one sentence कि if you keep coming to such rooms daily, you will see shift within a year. And that time I used to feel क्या हो जाएगा? What will happen? ऐसे तो क्या ही बदल जाएगा? But now I know, oh my God, this is what she was talking about. कि जो आपकी growth होगी, आप कि थिंकिंग पैटर्न्स चेंज होंगे, जो न्यूरल पाथवेज की वो साइंस बताती है मेघना दीक्षित, वो सारे लाइक अब लगता है कि नहीं, दिस इज ऑल लाइक रियली हैपनिंग। वो ऐसे होता है ना कि जब तक हम एक्सपोज नहीं होते किसी चीज से, हमें लगता है कि ऐसा कुछ होता होगा क्या, ऐसा कुछ नहीं होता है, ऐसे कुछ सुनने से कुछ नहीं होता है। बट हाँ, रियली होता है, बिकॉज वी कम टू नो कि अच्छा ये हमारी लिमिटिंग बिलीव है, ऐसा हम नेगेटिव सोच रहे हैं, हम ब्लेम कर रहे हैं। तो लाइक रोज रोज सुनने से फर्क तो पड़ता है।
100%, 100%। आपके सबकॉन्शियस में ये रेपिटेशंस जाएंगे, तभी you'll start making better decisions subconsciously, right? So for example, if you're having an argument and if you keep listening to things like these, right, about uh, handling your emotions better, and the next time you find yourself in an argument, you'll see that you're much more calm. You wouldn't react. And then if you're in the habit of analyzing and self-analysis, you'll be like, "Arey, इस बार मैं नहीं चिल्लाई, ऐसा क्या हुआ?" Right? So this is what happens. And when our mentors used to say, he, keep in touch and attend these programs and things like that. We were like, एक हो गया ना program, अभी काफी है. But only when we attended this series of programs did we realize you look back a year and you've come so far.
टोटली आई कैन लाइक रिलेट कि वो जो शिफ्ट आते हैं ना, वो ऐसे इतने टाइनी होते हैं, लेकिन वो एक साल के अंदर इतने बड़े हो जाते हैं ना, दैट वी कैन नॉट लाइक प्रिडिक्ट।
100%.
Right. And even those 8 p.m. learning hours on Clubhouse, audio ke through bhi, there was so much of learning at 8 p.m. And now we have the podcast and the YouTube channel wherein 8 p.m. is like learning hour, जहाँ पे लोग दूसरा सब कुछ देख रहे होते हैं। We are like stick, मैं तो बस वेट कर रही होती थी 8 p.m. हो जाए, सब कुछ काम खत्म करके साइड में रखना है। 8 p.m. में मुझे यहाँ बैठना है, मुझे सुनना है और मुझे पूछना है। That opportunity was also like two-way communication was there, so we can ask whatever questions we had. We were given this opportunity, so I feel blessed कि हमें इतनी अच्छी opportunity सक्सेस ज्ञान ने दी।
Clubhouse was fun, man. Till the time it lasted, what a blast we all had. So many times I used to sit as an audience and listen to Thaddeus speak. He's one of my mentors as well. So listen to Thaddeus speak, listen to Dr. Meghna speak. She's my soul sister. So Megs and I have been friends while we were in the learning journey of Success Gyan. So, and she's like a wise woman. So I would sit in the audience and just absorb all of these pieces of wisdom from all the trainers. Clubhouse was fun. I wish it had lasted.
Even I wish, I have messaged Suresh so many times, please start करो वापस, भले वीक में एक दिन तो एक दिन।
But the app did not have a lot of success. So that's the reason why. Sure.
Okay, whatever. I believe कि whatever is like meant will come to us. तो वो period golden period था. That time I was like, at that time Pooja Puneet used to say one sentence कि if you keep coming to such rooms daily, you will see shift within a year. And that time I used to feel क्या हो जाएगा? What will happen? ऐसे तो क्या ही बदल जाएगा? But now I know, oh my God, this is what she was talking about. कि जो आपकी ग्रोथ होगी, आपकी थिंकिंग पैटर्न्स चेंज होंगे, जो न्यूरल पाथवेज की वो साइंस बताती है मेघना दीक्षित, वो सारे लाइक अब लगता है कि नहीं, दिस इज ऑल लाइक रियली हैपनिंग। वो ऐसे होता है ना कि जब तक हम एक्सपोज नहीं होते किसी चीज से, हमें लगता है कि ऐसा कुछ होता होगा क्या, ऐसा कुछ नहीं होता है, ऐसे कुछ सुनने से कुछ नहीं होता है। बट हाँ, रियली होता है, बिकॉज वी कम टू नो कि अच्छा ये हमारी लिमिटिंग बिलीव है, ऐसा हम नेगेटिव सोच रहे हैं, हम ब्लेम कर रहे हैं। तो लाइक रोज रोज सुनने से फर्क तो पड़ता है।
100%, 100%. आपके सबकॉन्शियस में ये repetitions जाएंगे, तभी you'll start making better decisions subconsciously, right? So, for example, if you're having an argument and if you keep listening to things like these, right, about handling your emotions better, and the next time you find yourself in an argument, you'll see that you're much more calm. You wouldn't react. And then if you're in the habit of analyzing and self analysis, you'll be like, Arey, इस बार मैं नहीं चिल्लाई, ऐसा क्या हुआ, right? So this is what happens. And when our mentors used to say, he, keep in touch and attend these programs and things like that. We were like, एक हो गया ना program, अभी काफी है. But only when we attended the series of programs did we realize you look back a year and you've come so far.
टोटली आई कैन लाइक रिलेट कि वो जो शिफ्ट आते हैं ना वो ऐसे इतने टाइनी होते हैं लेकिन वो एक साल के अंदर इतने बड़े हो जाते हैं ना दैट वी कैन नॉट लाइक प्रिडिक्ट.
100%.
लाइक जैसे हमारा लाइक विमेन ग्रोथ समिट भी होता है तो आई वुड लाइक टू नो कि व्हाट कैन अ विमेन डू जो भी लाइक ऐसे स्टक फील कर रही है. जैसे आपने बोला कि दिस इज लाइक वेरी बहुत सारी विमेन लाइक पर्सनल मतलब फैमिली की तरफ ध्यान देने के लिए ब्रेक ले लेती है अपने करियर से एंड देन टू बाउंस बैक बिकम्स लाइक बहुत बहुत ज्यादा स्ट्रेंथ लगती है. जितना हम स्टार्टिंग में जो फ्लो में हम कॉलेज वगैरह से डायरेक्ट इंडस्ट्री में घुस जाते हैं लेकिन उसके बाद कहीं ना कहीं वो जो हम पर्सनल लाइफ के लिए ब्रेक लेते हैं ना उसके बाद जो बाउंस बैक करना होता है ना दैट I think you can relate to it because even I have that break. It's been 8 years that I am out of the industry. I was a software engineer. So I can feel the pain that I have gone in those 8 years. Although I was like, enjoying my personal life with my daughter and everything, but somewhere that pinch, नहीं मुझे मेरी identity चाहिए, मुझे कुछ करना है. I can't stay like this. I want to do something. तो what would you like to advise कि वैसे लोग कैसे उसमें से बाहर?
You know, what I've realized is working with all my students as well, what I've realized is कि drastic changes scare us, right? So अभी आप घर पे बैठे हो, this is your ecosystem, हम अपने घर का ख्याल रख रहे हैं, taking care of family and things like that. And to think that, okay, I'm going to office, so I'm doing XYZ before I go to office, then I come back from office and I have to do XYZ. Oh my God, nahi ho payega. Okay, it's okay. I'll think about it
I'm
tomorrow.
getting that goosebumps.
Right? I'll think about it tomorrow. आज नहीं, कल करेंगे, right? Because it's so overwhelming. It's so scary. So I don't believe in drastic changes. Uh, what I have seen, what I have practiced, and what I tell my students as well is 1 degree of change every day. So in 365 days, you'll have 365-degree changes, right? So 1 degree change. So what does 1 degree change look like? It can, for some people, it can start as small as tomorrow taking 30 minutes out for yourself. And what is the agenda of those 30 minutes? Go online and check what's happening in my field right now. Okay, so what are the big companies? Read some news, read some industry news, figure out what's happening, go into some podcasts, listen to people. So exploring what's going on in the world right now. That's it. No pressure. Right? So that's 1 degree change for tomorrow. The day after the 1 degree change can be for those 30 minutes. Now you have to set yourself up कि आपको 30 minutes को disturb ना करे. So what needs to be done before that? How will you handle your time? How will you handle your entire house structure? Right? So these are these tiny changes. If you start making today, maybe in a month, you will have enough exposure, knowledge, information that now you'll be able to take an informed decision कि मुझे करना क्या है आगे. But to think from, because we are all creatures of habit, right? तो हम एक कंफर्ट जोन में आएंगे ही ऑब्वियसली. तो हमारी कंफर्ट जोन में अगर हम वो सोचें, अगर हम अभी घर में बैठे हैं हमें सोचा हमें माउंट एवरेस्ट चढ़ना है, एक दिन सोचोगे ही तो नहीं हो सकता. माउंट एवरेस्ट कौन जाता है यार, राइट? बट if that is the goal, you can start today by going to the gym. Today, if you go for a 30 minutes strength training and things like that and work on your leg muscles, you're going to start that 1 degree change required for you to get to Mount Everest someday. 6 months, 1 year, someday. राइट? फिर आप एक छोटी ट्रैक के लिए जाओगे, सिंधुदुर्ग, राइट? छोटी ट्रैक के लिए गए, देन you'll go to a bigger one, maybe you'll go to Pindari Glacier, right? Then you'll go for, perhaps you'll go for assisted treks, कि अभी कोई है आपका पिट्ठू उठाने वाला, right? Maybe then you'll go and you'll carry your own 40-kilo bag on your back, because now with those changes you've become stronger. Maybe one day you'll reach base camp. Maybe if you reach base camp, you'll feel like Mount Everest was never my goal. I'm happy at base camp. Maybe you will reach base camp and you'll be like, oh my God, Mount Everest, here I come. Wait. Right? But it starts today in what do you do the next step. So the first thing is not to get overwhelmed with that big thing कि मुझे काम करना चाहिए. No. Explore. What can you do? What's there for you to do? And of course, a lot of personal development, a lot of self-development always helps.
Totally agree कि हम लोग डर इसलिए जाते हैं looking at that big thing, लेकिन when we eventually keep taking the small baby steps ना, then we will reach, और जिस दिन हम वहां पहुंचेंगे हम पीछे मुड़ के देखेंगे तो अरे इतना भी मुश्किल नहीं था.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So that's what a beautiful advice from Chinha ki take baby steps and you will reach where you want to go, and don't overthink it, right? This is also there कि हम लोग सोचने ज्यादा लग जाते हैं, ये कैसे होगा, वो कैसे होगा, वो कैसे होगा, एंड फिर वो जो ओवर थिंकिंग आती है उसकी वजह से छोड़ो, रहने दो, जहाँ है वही खुश है.
You know, my dad taught me this one thing when we were really, really very young. He taught me and my brother. Whenever we used to go to dad and talk about a problem, complain, or something like that, dad would ask, are you part of the problem or are you part of the solution? So हम ego पे ले लेते थे कि we can't be a part of the problem. Wait, we will search for a solution and come back to you.
दिस इज
So,
सच ए नाइस, मतलब
yeah.
एक बहुत अच्छा क्वेश्चन है. आई विल आल्सो लाइक कीप इन माइंड टू आस्क माय डॉटर.
Ask yourself this as well. So when I started my relearning of my life, all these advice came back to me. I lost them somewhere in between, like how we all do, right? So I lost them, and then I suddenly remembered, you know what? My dad taught me this. Let's start applying it, because knowing is not doing, right? Only doing is doing.
राइट.
Let's start applying it. Apply किया तो results मिले कि भाई चलो problem आ गई, अब solution ढूंढे, कैसे कर सकते हैं? So how can you do it rather than how can you not do it? ये कैसे नहीं हो सकता, वो छोड़ के ये कैसे हो सकता है?
Yeah, just the shift of our mindset to
Yeah.
focus on the solution, finding solution. जितनी ताकत हम उसको resist करने में लगाते हैं, उतनी ताकत अगर हमने उसका solution find करने में लगा दी तो we will progress, right?
Yeah, 100%.
So thank you for reminding it. मतलब that's what, पता सबको होता है लेकिन जब अप्लाई करना होता है तब याद आना चाहिए.
Yeah, absolutely.
एंड आई ऑल्सो थिंक कि हमारे पेरेंट्स ना हमें बहुत सारी ऐसी चीजें जो पर्सनल डेवलपमेंट में सीखने मिलती है ना, वो कहीं ना कहीं हमें बहुत पहले ही बता चुके होते हैं, लेकिन समवेयर वी फॉरगेट ऑन द वे, एंड जब वापस से सुनने मिलती है तो लगता है अच्छा हाँ मेरे पापा भी यही बोलते थे मुझे.
हाँ, because we are rebellious children always, right? So जो पेरेंट्स ने बोला उनको क्या पता है? जब टीचर्स बताते हैं, मम्मा आपको पता है मेरी टीचर ने ऐसा बोला, एंड मम्मा विल बी लाइक 10 दिन पहले मैंने भी यही बात बताई थी बेटा, आपने मेरी बात तो सुनी नहीं.
Exactly. Now we know that being moms. Okay, so see, this is like about this journey. लेकिन आपने अब इतनी सारी चीजें जब आपने अचीव की, लाइक सारी चीजों को मैनेज करना, फिर घर को बैलेंस करना, पर्सनल लाइफ को बैलेंस करना, सो हाउ डिड यू मेक दैट बैलेंस? हमें भी थोड़े टिप्स दो कि लाइक कभी कभी ऐसा लगता है ना, व्हाई वी डोंट चूज गो फॉर दैट करियर थिंग, कि हमें लगता है हमारी फैमिली ना निग्लेक्ट हो जाए, क्योंकि हमारी कहीं ना कहीं अपब्रिंगिंग ऐसी है, कंडीशनिंग ऐसी है कि फैमिली फर्स्ट. तो उस चीज को कैसे क्या बैलेंस करके चलना है?
हमारी जो एक अपब्रिंगिंग है ना, फैमिली फर्स्ट, वो अच्छी है, लेकिन एनीथिंग विच इज टू मच कैन बिकम टॉक्सिक. So specifically for women, anyway, our societal expectations are that women will handle the household, right? बच्चों का होमवर्क से लेके घर को रात को बंद करना, एवरीथिंग इज अ वुमन्स जॉब. या टुमारो थिंकिंग कि ब्रेकफास्ट में क्या बनेगा, सोते सोते ये सोच रहे हैं, है ना? वेल, एंड अदर पीपल ऑफ द हाउस आर नाइसली स्लीपिंग रात को. So one is the expectation that the household cannot run without a woman. I hope that we are teaching our next generations that whether you're a boy or whether you're a girl, it's your responsibility to take care of your stuff, of your living space, right? Of nourishing yourself. It's your responsibility. No one else is going to come and do it for you, right? So that's the first thing. Now, balancing is a very weird word in my this thing, because here's something, okay, which I learned from an amazing author, my favorite author, called Nora Roberts. I used to read a lot of novels, and she writes beautiful romance novels. So I was listening to her interview somewhere. Someone asked her the same question, that how do you balance? You're such a prolific writer, you're an author, you go around promoting your books. So how do you manage the time? And you're so family oriented as well. How do you balance it? So that interview left such a huge impression on me, and I applied it in my life. And she said that balance is a dirty word, first and foremost. Balance means that you're always stressed out. अरे अरे ये नीचे जा रहा है, ये नीचे जा रहा है, इसको उठाओ. अरे अरे ये नीचे जा रहा है, ये नीचे जा रहा है, इसको उठाओ. Right? So you're always stressed out about taking care of whatever is imbalanced in your life. So where's the focus? Where does our focus go when something is imbalanced?
बैलेंस कैसे करें?
It goes on the one that is going down, right?
Right.
The focus is on the negative all the time. Right? So we are trying to cope up. So we are being reactive instead of being proactive. And our focus is on the negative. So what happens is we create more of it. Basic law. Yeah, law of attraction.
Whatever we focus on grows.
It grows. So we are focusing on the imbalance. So the imbalance grows. So we are stressed out. So we are anxious. That was a boom moment for me. Okay, because I was reading a lot of Rhonda Byrne and Law of Attraction, Brian Tracy. I was going through all of that, and I suddenly realized that yes, we are focusing on the imbalance, so the imbalance grows. How do we focus on the balance then? Right? So Nora Roberts said, I treat my life as if I'm a juggler and I'm juggling balls every day. And some things in my life are glass balls, which means that while juggling, if a glass ball falls, it's going to break. I can't afford for a glass ball to break. Some things in my life are like wooden balls. So while I'm juggling, and if a wood ball falls, maybe there'll be a scratch on it, but I can pick it up again and start juggling again. And some things in our life are like plastic balls. गिर गई तो कोई फर्क ही नहीं पड़ता, कभी भी उठा लो. Okay? So now think of your life. Which are the glass balls in your life which you cannot let go of right now because they will break? And which are the wood balls in your life which you know that whenever you pick them up, you can dust them off and start juggling again, right? So for me, for example, when I started my image consulting studies and then started practicing, my baby was just 3 years old. For me, my baby was my glass ball. Single child, I wanted to give my child every amazing thing that I could, all the focus, all the learnings, bring her up the way I wanted to bring her up without compromising on my time with her. That was my priority. So that was my glass ball, right? So For me, my profession was a wood ball. I knew that I can pick it up, or I knew that sometimes I can do it, sometimes I can't. So I would, for example, take consultations only when I knew that my baby was sleeping, or my mom was at home, or my mom-in-law was at home, or someone was at home. Only then I would go for a consultation. So in the initial few years, my profession was extremely slow. Extremely. I was not even a turtle, I was a snail. Okay, so that is how my profession was in the initial few years, and I was okay with it. Then, as she started growing and she started becoming a little more independent, and I could leave her for some more time, or I could let her be with, like, for example, she's doing her artwork, and for that time, I could focus on, doing something on my social media and so on and so forth. So that's how I started doing that, and then suddenly there came a time when my daughter wanted to be very independent. So now that's not a glass ball anymore. Right now that becomes my wood ball. Now my glass ball was my profession. कि अरे अब तो कुछ कर लो, अब time हो गया है. And then I picked it up. Right? And then I said, if I let my the glass ball fall, it's going to shatter. I'll have to start all over again. So I won't let that fall. And so that is how I learned about juggling, not really balance. I don't think there is something called as balance. I think there is something called as harmony. And harmony is so much more powerful than balance. Harmony, the word itself is beautiful, it's positive, right? Balance is like, it gives me anxiety. So I'd like to believe that I create harmony in my life rather than balance.
वाओ सो ब्यूटिफुली एक्सप्लेन कि कैसे क्या हमें उस चीज को लाइक हार्मनी में लाना है, ना कि बैलेंस पे फोकस करना है. दैट वर्ड मतलब आई थिंक दैट दोज वर्ड्स मेक अ लॉट ऑफ डिफरेंस कि हमें वो कैसा फील करवा रहे हैं. हार्मनी इज रियली मेकिंग अस फील लाइक पॉजिटिव, कुछ अच्छा चल रहा है लाइफ में, एंड बैलेंस इज लाइक अरे यार कुछ तो करना पड़ेगा.
Absolutely.
एंड इट विल हेल्प अ लॉट आउट देयर कि इट्स नॉट लाइक आपको एकदम ट्रेमेंडस शिफ्ट कर देना है. स्टार्ट विद द बेबी स्टेप, मैनेज हियर एंड देयर, बट जस्ट डोंट स्टे वेयर यू आर. कहीं ना कहीं हमें लगता है कि दैट ब्रिंग्स सेल्फ एस्टीम डाउन और कॉन्फिडेंस डाउन, कि फिर उसको ना वापस से लाने में उससे डबल एनर्जी लगती है, राइट?
100%. And if we were supposed to be in one place, we would have been made like a tree. But we are humans, we can move.
Right, right. Thank you for sharing this amazing tip of the juggling balls. I hope it will benefit a lot out there. And like Chinha, you were saying that you had some problems in your marriage, so you wanted to run. तो ऐसा ना बहुत सारों के साथ होता है. It's like practical. Even if it is a love marriage, I have seen even my friends also that they will say कि यार चीजें अच्छी नहीं चल रही है, ये नहीं अच्छा हो रहा है, वो नहीं अच्छा हो रहा है. But even I believe that the person who has to change is us, not the other person. Once we change, automatically things will start working. So वो मतलब आपका तो पर्सनल एक्सपीरियंस है, तो प्लीज शेयर कि कैसे आपने वापस से ब्यूटीफुल बनाया आपका रिलेशनशिप.
I started learning about taking accountability. My problem was, everyone's problem is different, right? Some people in their marriage who want to run away, maybe they need to run away. Maybe the conditions of their marriage are really so bad that they'll be better off if they run away from that marriage. So context matters a lot, right? For me, my problem was that I was not taking accountability for my part of the mess. So I learned to take ownership of what I have done, what I have created. I learned how to communicate and assert myself better. My problem was feeling passive aggressive because my boundaries were being, encroached upon. over and over again, and I was giving in, and felt like I was losing parts of myself. So for me, the conversation only started with how can I talk about what I want in a way that doesn't offend, which doesn't hurt, which does not disrespect. How can I talk in a way that creates an environment where we share the problem together? It's not you against me, it's us against that problem. So for me, it started from there. How to communicate better in a relationship. And when I started communicating better, so obviously you can see what all goes on in the background if you have to communicate better, right? You have to first unravel a lot of things, take care of your emotions, and so on and so forth. That's when you communicate better. And so when I started communicating better, I realized that, oh my God, we are actually on the same team. Couldn't see it because of all of that nonsense that was going on inside of me. So the reason why I teach assertive communication is because my life changed because of assertive communication. My relationship changed. We realized that talking and understanding each other works beautifully. Understanding what the other person wants out of this relationship. How can I give it? How can I honor that for you? While how can I help you to honor what I want? How can I help you honor what I want? You can't read my mind. I
That is
have
so
to tell
true.
you.
That is so true. आधी problems हमारी solve हो जाएगी when we start communicating. Half of the time we think that the other person won't understand. छोड़ो, जो है कर लो, मतलब just put it under the carpet. जाने दो, जाने दो, जाने दो, जाने दो. And then one day that volcano like explodes. बस अब नहीं जाने दूंगी या अब नहीं जाने दूंगा.
Yeah, true. So for me, it was always, I used to believe people can't change. Jo hai, so hai. But I learned that everyone can change given the right motivation, given the right context. Everyone can change. So once I put that in my mind that I can change, which means the other person may change too. What kind of environment do we need to create so that we are on the same page and the other person starts changing? So it's a lot on us as well, right? So that's what started changing in my marriage. Communication. And for communication to happen, I had to take care of my shit.
Yeah, so beautifully explained by you कि communication is like the foundation to get things sorted, right? And एक और एक चीज मैं पूछना चाहूंगी कि whenever we females like prioritize our career ना somewhere कहीं ना कहीं हमें खुद से कहीं एक छोटी गिल्ट फीलिंग आती है, स्पेशली बीइंग अ मॉम. थोड़ा मॉम गिल्ट ज्यादा आता है कि यार कहीं मेरा बच्चा इग्नोर ना हो जाए. दैट फियर वो होता नहीं है. आई नो, मैं वर्किंग भी थी और मैं होम मेकर भी थी, तो आई नो कि चाहे मैं वर्किंग थी चाहे मैं होम मेकर थी, मेरा बच्चा हमेशा मेरी प्रायोरिटी रहा था और रहता है. मोस्ट ऑफ, मतलब मुझे लगता है सारी मॉम्स के लिए भी सेम ही रहता है, राइट? सो उस गिल्ट फीलिंग से कैसे बाहर आना कि वी ऑल्सो हैव अवर ओन आइडेंटिटी, जिसके लिए भी हमें कुछ करना पड़ेगा. वी आर नॉट जस्ट मॉम एंड वी आर नॉट जस्ट वाइफ, वी आर नॉट जस्ट अ डॉटर इन लॉ, वी आर अ कॉम्बिनेशन ऑफ ऑल दिस. तो हमको सबको प्रायोरिटाइज करना, मतलब वही हार्मनी से लेकर जाना है.
Yeah. One thing I've realized is that आप जिंदगी में कुछ भी कर लो, the mom guilt is not going anywhere. It is here to stay. So what we can do is learn to live with it. It's fine. Mom guilt is okay. Look, let's be practical. Okay. We can mitigate the guilt. We can set systems up. We can do things with our children, which helps us feel, not so guilty. If on a scale of 1 to 10, if we feel 10 number guilt all the time, instead of that, can we feel 5 guilt, not 10 guilt? Right? So how can we mitigate the guilt? Because mom guilt is a thing. I have so many friends, who are at the top rung of their careers, and they have beautiful children. They enjoy amazing relationship with their children, and they still talk about mom guilt. So mom guilt is here to stay. Okay, because it's the way we are wired. But what can we do then? I think everyone understands at their own pace that when are you sick and tired of being sick and tired? Okay, so everyone understands that everyone's epiphany happens at different levels in their lives. For some, it happens earlier, for some, it happens later. Like in my programs, I find women who are at 60 years, 65 years of age who now say, Chinha, bas ho gaya yaar. That's it. Right? So everyone gets their bulb-on moments in their life at different stages in life because everyone's soul journey is different. Yeah. What can we do to set ourselves up for success and not set ourselves up for failure? Right? What we can do is allow ourselves to integrate with ourselves first. It starts from there. Okay? क्या होता है ना मम्मा ये दे दो as a wife, so as a wife, as a daughter-in-law, as a mom, you are just being you're creating so many fractions of yourself, trying to keep everyone satisfied and happy in their life. So you become disintegrated. Every single day, finding time to integrate yourself. And there's so many practices for that. Okay. I feel the best practice is a writing practice. To journal about you, about yourself, about your emotions, about your goals, about your dreams, and to write it every single day, day on day on day. Okay. And when you look back at your journal and be like, ah, yes, this is who I am. Oh, this is not who I am. Yeah, this is who I am. And when you see yourself writing down your own words, you realize who you are. Your essence starts coming back. So writing practice is a beautiful integrative practice, which means that what you have to find time for yourself, right? It starts with 10 minutes, 20, 30 minutes. Once you start integrating yourself back into yourself, that's when you realize, "Theek hai yaar, I'm not just a mom, not just a wife. I have so much more to give." And so this is another thing that I teach my students. Focus on someone outside of yourself and see where more can you help. So you're helping as a mom, of course, you're helping as a wife, as a great neighbor, right, as a great friend, but you have some other skills as well, some technical skills, some intellectual skills, right? Your skills can help an organization, your skills can help people. So think on a larger scale. Where else can you help with your skills? Because I feel that's the key to unlocking the brilliance of women. Yeah, because we love helping. We just love helping, right? So thinking about what skills do I possess and how can I help? And of course, be paid in return because who wants to do free work all their life? Come on. Yeah. I mean, we want to go shopping, we want to go traveling, we want to have our own money to feel amazing about ourselves. Some of us feel amazing when we buy our own homes. So why not earn the money in exchange for skills which help people? Right? So integrate yourself. Once you start integrating yourself, you'll realize मेरे पास बहुत है भाई देने के लिए. Yeah. And then find sometimes we need to upskill ourselves, right? So that's good as well to upskill and see, okay, what I know is outdated. What I know is from 10 years ago. Where has my field moved? What do I need to do to get there? How can I get there? And so on and so forth. So it starts with integrating. पहले वो करो.
I am like मेरे लिए ना एकदम ऐसा मोमेंट लग रहा है मुझे जी मुझे ये सुनना था. I wanted to listen to this and I think there are many out there who wanted to listen to this. Thank you for sharing it. I can feel कि what one goes when they really want to do something for themselves, like जो आप बोल रहे हो ना खुद का पैसा होना चाहिए, like we also have our own dreams. So if we can do it in exchange of sharing our knowledge, our skills with others, so that is such a beautiful feeling. I think वो हमारा confidence raise करता है.
Absolutely.
Right. And चिन्हा, जैसे आपकी expertise है पर्सनल इम्पैक्ट, तो हमें थोड़े से टिप्स दो कि हाउ वी कैन लाइक हैव अवर फर्स्ट इम्प्रेशंस एंड हैव इम्पैक्ट ऑन अदर्स. जब भी हम किसी से मिले तो एटलीस्ट दे शुड रिमेम्बर अस द नेक्स्ट टाइम वी मीट देम.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, for me, personal impact starts way before you meet someone. Okay. So you've got to start doing some work before you meet people, so that when you do meet people, you have a memorable impact on them. Right. So I talk about ABC of a great impact. A stands for your appearance. So how do you look? How do you put yourself together? What's your grooming like? What kind of clothes do you wear? What kind of messages you want to portray through your appearance? Because when we see someone, 90% of what we see is clothes. फिर थोड़ा सा मुंह है, थोड़े हाथ हैं, right? So what we see on people is actually a lot of clothes. And every single thing that we put on our body creates an energy. Everything is energy, right? So it creates an energy, it creates a mood, it sends a message out. So what is your appearance talking about you? Start from there. What is your behavior like in front of people? And the way we behave in front of people actually is a reflection of our inner world. So what's our mindset like? People with fixed mindset versus people with growth mindset, they'll have different behaviors. Do you know what your strengths are? When you know what your strengths are and you work on your strengths and you leverage your strengths, you walk with confidence, you speak with confidence, you interact with confidence. Do you know what your high values are? And are you living a life of high value? And once you are comfortable in the way you live, you don't want to confront or compromise how other people live. And then the interaction, the conduct becomes so much more beautiful because you create space for everyone, because you've created space for yourself, right? So values. And then how do you handle your emotions, right? Look at it, right? If we are irritated, we get triggered fast by other people. So if you're already upset about something and you're driving your car and someone cuts right in front of you, फटाक गाली निकलेगी मुंह से, right? Or you'll honk so hard. Why? Why that trigger? Because there's something going on inside of you, which is unprocessed. And so it gets triggered. It controls you. You don't have any control over it. So when our emotions are unprocessed, that's when we get triggered by other people all the time, right? And the next thing is our beliefs. If we have a lot of self-limiting beliefs, we're not going to show up in our brilliance, right? So what are our beliefs about ourselves? I'm not good enough. Oh, okay, then you're not going to speak up in a meeting, right? I don't think I can do this. Well, okay, then you're not going to raise your hand for the project, right? So all of these things, this is our internal world, and it will always show up in our behavior. Yeah. So start there. And then become an assertive communicator. So C is for communication. Assertive communicators I've seen have a magnetic quality. They create space for others. Yeah. They are great listeners. They are very confident about themselves. Respect is a high value for them. So I'll respect you, and I also respect myself, and I'll not let you disrespect me respectfully, right? So when you are in the company of an assertive communicator, you feel safe to speak up. And people follow people who make them feel very safe, right? So these are some of the qualities of great impact when you finally do meet people. How do you show up in your appearance? Are you taking care of your inner world so that your behavior with others is positive? And how do you communicate with people? What kind of space do you create for them? All of these things come together and they create this thing, what we call charisma, right? So, of course, the body language as well, right? Someone who dresses up well, for example, knows that they look good, feels good from the inside, is working on their inner world, right? So, knows that, yeah, I'm developing myself, I'm growing. And then is also confident about themselves to speak up when they need to and to listen to others when they need to. It shows up in the body language as well. Great eye contact, amazing body posture. And then when you look at such people, when they walk into the room, you want to keep looking at them. Right? You're like, wow, amazing. I want to go talk to that person. Right? So this is what charisma is at the end of the day. And that's what creates impact.
Wow, so beautifully explained. मुझे लगा सिर्फ सिर्फ लुक्स मेकअप कपड़े यही होता है, बट इज लाइक आपने पूरा ओवरऑल सम अप ही कर दिया कि थॉट्स भी होते हैं, इमोशंस भी होते हैं, क्या बोल रहे हो वो भी होते हैं, आप सामने वाले को कितना कंफर्टेबल फील करा, रिस्पेक्ट दे रहे हो या नहीं दे रहे हो, एवरीथिंग का पैकेज इज व्हाट इज लाइक क्रिएटिंग दैट पर्सनल इम्पैक्ट. एंड मुझे लगता था कि जब हम मिलते तब हम इम्पैक्ट क्रिएट करते हैं, यूसे वो भी लाइक दैट मिथ इज आल्सो ब्रोकन, नहीं उससे पहले ही स्टार्ट हो जाता है.
Absolutely.
थैंक यू फॉर शेयरिंग दैट. दैट शोज योर एक्सपर्टीज. मतलब जो क्या बोलते हैं, सक्सेस ज्ञान ने जो आपको चुना है वो ऐसे ही नहीं चुना है. थैंक यू फॉर शेयरिंग इट विद माय ऑडियंस. इट विल बेनिफिट आउट many. And Chinha, like, what would be your final piece of advice for everyone out there who's listening to you?
What I would like to say is this: everyone has brilliance inside of them. Okay? We've all gone through hardships, we've all gone through pressure, right? And we've all become diamonds. All of us. Because we are standing here under pressure, right? The way diamonds come into existence is when coal can withstand pressure. Only then it turns into diamond. Any coal that cannot withstand pressure turns into dust. We are here, right? We have gone through hardships, we've gone through pressure. So each one of us is a diamond. Now, it's our choice whether we acknowledge that and live our life as if we are diamonds, or do we live our life as if we are still a lump of coal with no significance? So, all of us are diamonds. Start shining. It's your birthright.
वाओ, सो ब्यूटीफुली एक्सप्लेन कि हम लोग मिट्टी में मिलने के लिए बने, शाइन करने के लिए बने हुए. Thank you so much, Chinha, for sharing such valuable information from your journey, from your life. I hope it is going to benefit a lot out there, and I'm like really grateful to you for taking out your precious time and being here with us.
It was my honor. Thank you for having me here, Anita. It was such a pleasure talking to you and sharing whatever I have learned for the benefit of your audience. I'm looking forward to getting to know from your audience what they thought, what they learned, and how they want to, put this into action in their lives.
Yeah, guys, do comment below. जो भी चिन्हा ने बोला है वो सब नीचे होना चाहिए, because that is the way we will show gratitude or respect to Chinha, because उन्होंने seriously like ये जो भी इसको share किया ना, ये एक पूरा का पूरा एक सेशन बन सकता है. It can be like lakhs and lakhs, जिसके लिए आपने आज कुछ भी पे नहीं किया है, तो at least we can do this कि by commenting below कि what all did you want to implement, what all did you learn from this interview. So do comment below and don't forget to subscribe my channel so that I can get more of such amazing people on my channel and bring the amazing knowledge to you. So thank you so much, Chinha. It was pleasure having you here.
Thank you, Anita. Thank you so much.
So guys, thank you for staying till the end. Hope you enjoyed this interview and learned a lot. What I would like to say is, जैसे चिन्हा ने कहा, learning is one thing, but implementing is what matters. So I would say कि implementation भी start कर दो. जो भी लग रहा है कि आप कुछ नहीं कर पा रहे, start taking baby steps as Chinha explained. और इस इंटरव्यू को एक बार और देखना, नोट्स बनाना, and then start implementing. So bye guys, see you with some other guests at some other time. Bye Chinha, thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.